What's the deal with PACE? You've probably heard people talking about it, especially if you watch any videos about disaster communications, emergency communications, whatever term you want to throw at it. It's talked about a lot, right? So primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. And it can be used for a lot of different things. And yes, it does have its foundations in military doctrine. Now, we don't have to make it as complicated as it may seem. And today I'm going to help simplify that in ways to get you to understand the methodology behind it and how to really use it. And I think you're going to find this very interesting. So let's get into it. Now, really how you look at it, right? It's a PACE. It can be a challenging task. And really where the challenges come in more is the actually implementing it and practicing it. We'll touch on that a little bit more towards the end. But a good PACE plan establishes redundancies. And these basically are backups to your backups, just layers to your communications plan. And it doesn't always have to be separate devices. We tend to get wrapped up around, we've got a phone and we've got a radio, and then maybe we have a different type of radio and then another type of radio. Let's dive into that a little bit. And you will see here that there is several civilian agencies that reference building PACE plans. And one place you could go to is called myreadyplan.com, and they literally have a page on how to create a PACE. We're going to talk the first one, just a quick example. And this is going to be a family communications plan, the most basic communications plan or PACE that you could build. So think of it this way. First one, cell phone and a call, right? I know calling is very uncommon these days, except for all the spam calls you get, but that's your primary, right? So there's your plan for your family. Your primary, if there's a power outage, a storm, wildfire, major problems in whatever those may be, man-made natural disasters are happening in your area. First attempt to get a hold of whoever it is you're trying to communicate with is a phone call. Alternate would be text message. You're like, well, why would a text message work if the phone call didn't? Well, there's a possibility that because of the congestion on the cellular networks, your text message is much smaller, basically. And there's a higher probability that might actually make it through. There's also the possibility that you could set up a person's location, someone that is located out of the normal affected area, maybe a couple states over, whatever. They don't get hit by hurricanes regularly or whatever. So then, hey, we use Uncle Bob's house or his phone number, and I call there and say, hey, this is, your nephew, I'm good, so on and so forth. Leaving my work and heading home. I'll update you when I get home if there's any problems. And then, your sister calls him and says the same thing, and then you call back later and he lets you know, hey, your sister's fine or wife's fine or whatever, your kids are good. That's a possibility. I don't want to complicate it too much here. So we've already worked into alternate. Now we're in contingency. So group chat over Wi-Fi. Now you're like, okay, now I'm using Wi-Fi. Why is Wi-Fi working? Well, there's the potential that the cellular networks, there's been some sort of disruption there. And maybe your internet service provider is still working, so therefore you could use Wi-Fi to communicate that way, whether it's a phone call, text, group chats, whatever. And then emergency would be meet at a pre-planned location. Now, this could be a little complicated, right? And this could require quite a bit of planning depending on the most common disasters that affect your area. That's what you should be initially planning for, right? If your area is regularly affected by hurricanes or wildfires or flooding or whatever, those are the things that you should be planning for. What's the most likely first, and then work your way towards the most or the least likely events as you work your way down that process. So a pre-planned location. Well, if flooding is just, for example, if flooding is the most common thing that happened in your area, then maybe you should pick a pre-planned location outside that normal area that is affected by flooding, high ground, for example. So that could be a use. And then, hey, once you guys can't get a hold of each other and using any method, you just feet towards that other location, right? All right, now the next step, the next level up from this would be, say, a group, family group, friends, whatever, that has spent some more time planning and has some additional communications equipment to support that plan. Handheld radios. This is a BTEC UV Pro VHF and UHF radio. Now, maybe you're not going to go that route. You're going to go GRMS, so then you're using UHF. Here's where I think sometimes the PACE plan, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency, people think it has to be a different piece of equipment, but you could have your primary still as your cell phone. This is another example, right? Your alternate is a VHF frequency. Your contingency is a UHF frequency. Now, here's something I will add into that is if you're planning on using repeaters, just know, for one, some repeaters have backup power. However, that backup power may have time limits. Might last a day, it might last 2 days, whatever. That if there's no plan to refuel those backup generators or no way to get to them, then your repeater might go down. Additionally, a lot of times repeaters are typically owned by clubs, areas groups, so on and so forth, and they may be using that frequency for disaster relief and have active nets going on and ask you if you're just trying to talk to, they might relay a message for him if you're using proper radio etiquette, but there's a good chance if you just try to get on there and use it to chit chat with your buddy that's, the next county over or whatever, that they might ask you to kindly, hopefully, to wait for that net to be over or whatever before you try that communications. So I would plan for a simplex as maybe something you shoot for if that's possible, and then radio to radio, and then work from there. Now, if you're only using GRMS and you don't have a GRMS repeater in your area, you could put up your own, of course. There's definitely costs associated with that, but then you could also have just alternate UHF frequencies. You could have your alternate as one UHF frequency and your contingency being another, right? So, and then your emergency in this situation could be, if that's in the group's budget, to have something like a satellite communicator or something like that to be able to communicate. It all depends on the situation. The key here that I must iterate over and over again is it's really about not just the planning, but also practicing the plan, because if you don't actually try it, it's probably not going to work the way you thought it would work on paper. So you need to actually exercise this plan so you can find those holes in your plan and figure out ways to fix them before you really need this PACE plan, right? To close out, remember, PACE planning can be complicated, but it doesn't really have to be. Just ask yourself, what is my backup? What's my backup to my backups? And go from there. Remember, gear gets you started, but knowledge and skills keep you connected. If you want to support what we do here, the simplest way to do that is a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out links down below. I'm going to have links for some of the stuff I talked about today and much, much more in the descriptions. Thanks for watching.